Welcome to the program. Gang's all here, ready to go.
What is that?
Every day's a Super
Don't do
Bowl.
it.
I don't like the
Don't
sound
do it.
of
Come
that
on, Dan.
at all.
Don't do that.
Short on sleep, low on morale. You know, I have to I have to be honest with the audience, as I always am. And I have to be honest with myself, because that's where it starts. Be honest with yourself first. I think we're just in the hall of very good with this show.
It's official?
Yeah, I think we're just a very good show. We lost we didn't win last night. NFL Live from the mothership won. NFL Live with 350 people working on that show.
And live is assumed.
Yeah, and we come in, we have a total of 13 people work on this show. And to make it even worse, it was the last category of the night.
That was tough. That sucked.
The last category of the night. There's a woman who started the vacuum cleaner before we even got the announcement. It's like, this is going on a long time. We got to win. We got to salvage this because we have 2.5 hours back. And that was even more painful than losing is to be on the bus for 2.5 hours in traffic late at night and Fritzy doing his stand-up routine.
Oh, my God. Please don't.
I'm not exaggerating
Please
this.
let's not do that again.
I'm not exaggerating this. My wife turned to me and she said, "Does he ever shut up?" And I go, "No. You entertain the troops. I will say that. We didn't ask to be entertained."
He entertained himself.
He did.
For sure.
I don't think anybody responded to you. But that didn't stop Todd from talking to himself. And he was singing songs. And he was a DJ at one point. Then he was doing stand-up. And I just thought, we had a crushing loss. We just lost. And sometimes it's okay if we just sit and just think about our lives and our careers, what could have been. And then Todd made it even worse. But, we got to see a lot of people, and it was fun going down. Although we're about, 40 minutes away from the venue. And, the backroom guys are drinking like they're on scholarship, like they're on spring break. And I'm saying, hey, there's no bathroom on this party bus. Next thing I know, Tyler, who answers the phones, goes, I got to get off the bus. I go, what's wrong? So we're over by Yankee Stadium. There's no place to pull over.
Stuck in traffic.
Yes. And then Tyler goes, I got to get off. I think something's going to explode. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I have to go to the bathroom. He goes, I'll take an Uber. I said, you're not getting an Uber in rush hour traffic. So I got him and then a couple more backroom guys. They're getting off the bus and then taking a whiz. Tyler runs 1/4 mile to be under a bridge. He goes, I'm shy. And I go, okay. So we finally, I get everybody back in. We get to the venue. And then, Fritzy's going after the pigs in a blanket. Then he spills his soda all over him. Then he's wondering how he gets his stain out. We're there at cocktail hour time. We want to get a picture on the red carpet, all of us. They wouldn't let us get a picture on the red carpet. And I'm thinking, this doesn't bode well. I even said to the person, I said, I'm nominated. Yeah, the red carpet's closed. I go, okay. So we were the last category. Congratulations to NFL Live. How about a round of applause?
Yeah. Our buddies.
Okay. Now, I thought there was going to be a big payoff because David Hill, who was the genius behind Fox Sports and a couple other networks around the world, he was being honored. It was a lifetime achievement. And I, of course, have told the story of Cream Rinse. When I met with him back in the mid-'90s, I met with him in Scottsdale, Arizona. Super Bowl was there, Steelers, Cowboys. And he is interviewing me to host Fox's pregame show. Had met with some of the other people who worked on the show. They signed off on it. I'm meeting with David. He wanted to meet with me. So I'm there talking to him, and then he gets up after it's done, and he goes, 2 words for you. He's Aussie. Cream Rinse. Your hair, it's too puffy. So I thought, okay, Carissa Thompson's announcing the winner of our category, friend of the show. I got David Hill, who called, said cream rinse. It's all lining up here. This is going to be our night. Well, Carissa announces NFL Live, and then all of a sudden I see David Hill after the event, and I walk up to him, and I go, I got 2 words for you, cream rinse. And he looks up from his phone, he goes, I know you. And I said, yeah, you were going to hire me, for the Fox pregame show. We met in the mid-'90s in Arizona. And he goes, don't remember that. And I go, no, cream rinse. Remember, you made fun of my hair. And he goes, your hair looks good. I go, I said cream rinse. So now I've completely embarrassed myself. And he goes, well, we did talk to Bob Costas. I said, of course I did.
All his Emmys.
Yeah. I go, oh, my God. So then my wife goes, how did it go? I said, horrible. He didn't get the joke? I said, he doesn't even remember meeting with me. Did he know who you were? I think. And then I got Mario taking pictures of me walking up to him. And then Fritzy walks up to him for some reason, just say hello. And then we got on the bus, and then we went home. And then we're stuck in traffic. It usually takes less than 2 hours. I think it was 2.5 hours. People trying to sleep. Todd's entertaining, standing up, singing, the whole thing.
It was this weird thing where like I kind of fell asleep, but I was like in and out of sleep, and I couldn't tell if I was having these nightmares of Todd was like what he was really saying, where he's like, this car is $1.3 million. I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about, dude? What the hell? Am I dreaming this, or is this really happening?
We had a fun night. There were a lot of laughs. We did. The ceremony was so long. I said, guys, we got to go to a pub. I mean, I just can't sit there. So, and look, it's not professional. But I was like, I can't sit here for 2.5 hours. I got to walk around, which I normally do every time. Every ceremony, I walk around. And I just say, hey, text me. We were the 59th award handed out.
That's the most important award.
There's no 60.
Just saying.
The credits roll after us. But
yeah. It's like right after they give out Best Picture. It's the most important award of the night. That's where ours was.
Yeah. That's why they wouldn't tell us. We asked them. I said, where are we in the order? We don't know. I said, you have to do the programs. Then Paulie asked, Mario asked. I was like, man, why can't we find out? And then I realized we're the last award. Yes, Eaton.
You know what is just the best, though?
Our audience reacting to us losing.
Our audience reacting to us losing every time. Because if you can go on social media and there will be people the Sports Emmys will post, best graphic design was ESPN college football, whatever, right? Yeah. And it'll maybe have one like. Maybe if you go through all of these things, it'll be one like, maybe a comment and a like or two, all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden there's this one category that has 157 comments and a million things. And out of that 157 comments, 156 of them are, you guys got it screwed. You guys got this wrong. A million other expletives be thrown at the Sports Emmys people.
Yeah. We did have somebody on social media saying, I think you guys are in the Hall of Very Good.
That's an elite comment right
And I
there.
said, you're absolutely right.
Someone else also pointed out that we've lost in the finals just as many times as LeBron now, so that's pretty good. That's good company to be in.
Okay. I saw Scott Van Pelt, and Van Peasy has not won a Sports Emmy. So he's been up 8 times, and he lost, and then there was last night. And all of a sudden, we're driving home in our party bus. Not much partying going on. Van Pelt sends me a text that goes, 0 for 9. And that was it.
God, 0 for 9,
0
man.
for 9.
Good grief.
I know.
That year of the, I think it was the year that was COVID. Yeah, man, he probably really should have won that year.
Absolutely.
They did great things that year. He got screwed there.
Absolutely. And we saw Richard Sherman, former Seattle Seahawk. Fritzy, of course, does his Richard Sherman impersonation.
Who was talking about you? Crabtree.
So
Yeah.
So he does his Aaron Andrews impersonation. And so I see Richard Sherman, and he walks by, and he said, hey, just want to say hello. I said, hold on. Todd, Fritzy, come here. And Fritzy walks over. I go to Richard Sherman. I said, Fritzy does a great impersonation. And you can see Richard Sherman going, where are we going with this?
I looked at you the same way. I'm like, are we really doing this right now?
And I was like, no, go ahead. Give it to me one more time.
Who's talking about you? Crabtree.
And Richard Sherman died laughing. He was with Andrew Whitworth, who, by the way, is a mountain.
That big dude, man.
Goodness gracious. I think his head's an 8.5. I'm going to guess. What a large guy. But Nate Burleson saw him, got to see a few people from the mothership. So it was a nice night. Mike Tirico, got to see Mike. Mike went 0 for 3 last night.
Wow.
Yeah. The big 0 for. Ernie Johnson saw Ernesto. He won Best Studio Host again. Yeah, it was a nice night. It would have been a better night if we won and if I didn't embarrass myself with David Hill. Cream rinse.
What?
I know you. And I go, yeah. And then, oh my God.
I know you. So that, which is good. That's great. He's like, heck yeah, man, this dude.
But okay, here's what made it even worse. I don't introduce, he's looking at his phone. He's got his Sports Emmy there and he's walking and I go, 2 words for you. Cream rinse. And
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Now, I'd had a couple of Jack and Cokes by then, but I'm just saying.
You know how when sometimes like you'll be out in public or like say you're in the airport and you'll run into somebody and a guy will be like, hey, I don't know if you remember this, but in 1989 I ran into you in this airport one time and you said like, hey, go Zips or whatever. But do you remember that? And you're like, yeah. That's what you did to David Hill.
I did.
Do you remember in 1989 when you said cream rinse to me? No.
From the Great Timing Department, the Win or Lose We Celebrate T-shirts are on sale right now at danpatrick.com.
All T-shirts are on sale. Whatever we got left.
$10.
$10. Clean them out.
Yes.
Just get rid of them.
Win or lose, we celebrate, which is our motto around here. Usually lose, we celebrate. Seton, what's poll question today?
Well, we got a couple of options here. Can I start with, this one might be too insensitive.
Okay.
You might be mad at me for this one.
Okay.
Or you might laugh.
Okay.
Or you might not. Tougher L to take. Losing the Sports Emmy or David Hill not remembering the cream rinse story.
Or the fact that he was going to offer me the job.
Yeah. I can't believe that he would call you and be like, hey, come sit down. I want to have a meeting with you about this job, and then leave the meeting by insulting you in your hair.
I know.
That's odd. But maybe he felt so comfortable, like, hey, by the way, you're going to be on the team. Next thing is cream rinse. We need to get that puffy hair under control. You're going to be a star.
I mean, I've had management say stupid things to me.
That's fair.
Because that's why they're management.
That's fair.
They say stupid things.
They say stupid things for a living.
Yes. But they don't say it on camera or on radio. But yeah, no, the team lost. I really thought that this was the year.
Yeah.
I thought it was reflective of all around what this show is. And then, that's what I'm proud of is we get to do a show how we want to do a show with, no interference from management here. Here's how it sounded last night.
Show daily are The Dan Patrick Show, Peacock, Good Morning Football, NFL Network, MLB Central, MLB Network, MLB Tonight, MLB Network, NFL Live, ESPN, ESPN2. Pardon the interruption, ESPN.
And the final Emmy of the night goes to NFL Live, ESPN, ESPN2.
Accepting the Emmy, Laura Rutledge, host.
Oh, whatever, Laura.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, great. Go up
Yeah.
there and be likable.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. Go up there and be charming. Yeah, great. But if you look at the category, and we have a paragraph of people who work on the show. If you look at all the other shows, probably at least 100 people work on all these shows. And that's what I'm most proud of. If you see it's just us, and you're going up against, networks here. And yes, it's a loss, but I'd rather be nominated than lose. And I did have friends who said, hey, your brand is still alive. You didn't win. Congratulations. Yes.
Exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, I know.
You wanted to lose.
Well,
got your wish.
It's bad for our brand if we win, I think.
Wrong.
Yes. Yes.
Wrong.
Yeah, you were.
See, that's why I think that sometimes we lose sight of why it's so amazing that we get nominated based on sort of who we are. Like you said, those shows have like 100 or 200 people working on them, and we have 12. Their monthly budget on all of those shows is probably what we spend an entire year in.
Yeah.
In our whole total budget. They have all of this crazy technology and stuff, and we're a radio show on TV.
That's what we want. That's so important. You brought this up last night, and you said we want to be the first radio show on TV that wins a Sports Emmy. Because there are a lot of shows that, you have the radio and TV component. But to be the first to do that, since we kind of invented this genre, that would be awesome. Yes.
And like within sports TV circles, right? And I mean this with respect to lots of people. Radio on TV is about as low as it gets in terms of the importance of sports television, right? There's like live events, which is a big deal. There's shows like Sports Center and all of these things that are these like just titans of the industry, right? They're a big deal. But when you're doing a radio simulcast on TV, it's kind of like, all right, just push the button and then watch these guys talk. Yeah. It's not like the most gratifying work sometimes for directors and producers and things like that. It's like, all right, this is where we cut our chops. But we're so good at what we do that we're a radio show. We're exactly the same as what they hate about doing. But we get nominated with all these other shows like Sports Center and Pardon the Interruption, all these huge, huge, huge shows as a radio show. That's pretty special.
Yep. And hopefully, we only got a couple more chances here.
I know, 2.
Yeah, we got 2 more chances. 2 more.
I just want to win one.
2 more. Yes, Paul.
Do we have 2 or 3 more chances?
We have next year and the year after that. But
maybe 3.
But I don't know if I'm going after I've retired.
Oh, you wouldn't attend.
I don't think so. Like you had me.
Which means we're absolutely going to win if you don't attend. Absolutely.
If it means that we absolutely win and I don't go, then I won't go. But I don't want one of those where you give a Lifetime Achievement Award. I do not want that. You had a chance to give this to me when it mattered. I don't want you know what? Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Very Good. Say hello to Dan Patrick here.
Yeah, see, no offense. I don't want that either because I don't get one. That's what happens. Like, a lot of times it's like, hey, Dan's got this major award for the Dan Patrick Show, but it's like, we're honoring Dan Patrick today. The show part always gets cut out. I want to win the Dan Patrick Show Emmy, not the Dan Patrick. No offense.